Do you often wake up between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m., unable to go back to sleep? Perhaps this phenomenon is not a mere coincidence. What if these moments are an invitation, a sacred opportunity to transform your life? In this video, we'll explore 3 powerful manifestation techniques inspired by the teachings of Neville Goddard that you can practice during these early hours to reshape your reality. Neville Goddard once wrote, "Your imagination is God. All things are possible to him who believes." Perhaps these early morning awakenings are your imagination, your God self, calling you to create something profound. If this is your first time on this channel, please subscribe to learn more about conscious creation and the art of living from the end. If you keep waking up between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m., especially consistently, you're not experiencing insomnia. Instead, you're being called to participate in what Neville termed the spiritual hour, when the veil between imagination and reality is thinnest. Your deeper self knows this is the perfect time for manifestation. As Neville insightfully taught, what you feel, you attract. What you imagine, you become. These moments in the early morning are your invitation to feel and imagine your desired reality into existence. There are several significant hours in spiritual practice, but the 3 a.m. to 5 a.m. window is particularly powerful. Neville called this the hour of God, when your imagination is most receptive to new impressions. Let me share with you 3 powerful techniques Neville taught for maximizing these precious moments. But first, we need to understand why this specific time window holds such profound manifestation potential. The ancient mystics, much like Neville, recognized that 3 a.m. to 5 a.m. represents the peak of spiritual consciousness. But first, we need to understand why this specific time window holds such profound manifestation potential. The ancient mystics, much like Neville, recognized that 3 a.m. to 5 a.m. represents the peak of spiritual consciousness. During these hours, the analytical mind, what Neville called Caesar, naturally quiets itself. This rational part of our mind, which so often argues against the power of our imagination, steps aside, allowing our divine imagination to fully express itself. Think of your consciousness during these early morning hours as perfectly prepared soil, ready to receive the seeds of your desires and nurture them into manifestation. This is when your manifestation practice can be most potent, most transformative. Before we explore each technique in detail, let's understand what Neville taught about the mechanics of manifestation. He explained that every physical reality must first exist in our imagination. Everything you see around you, this device you're watching, the chair you're sitting in, the clothes you're wearing, all were once just imaginal acts in someone's mind. Neville shared a profound truth when he said, "The world is yourself pushed out." Your current reality is nothing but the harvest of your previous imaginal acts. The thoughts and feelings you've entertained in the past have crystallized into your present circumstances. This understanding becomes crucial during the early morning hours, because this is when you have the most direct access to the subconscious mind, the fertile soil where all seeds of manifestation are planted. Now, let's explore our first technique, entering the state akin to sleep. This state is far more than just being drowsy. It's about accessing what Neville called the dimensionally greater you. In this state, your consciousness naturally shifts into a receptive mode, similar to what you experience during deep meditation or profound spiritual experiences. When you find yourself awake during these hours, simply maintain complete stillness in your body. Your breathing should be light and gentle. Let your thoughts float by without engaging them. feeling a gentle heaviness in your limbs. Many of Neville's students initially struggle with this state because they try too hard. Remember, you're not forcing anything. You're allowing yourself to rest in what Neville called the intelligence of your deeper self. The key is to avoid fighting your sleepiness or analyzing the process. Don't worry about doing it right. Simply release any tension or effort and rest in that drowsy state of consciousness. This is your most powerful manifestation tool. Moving to our second technique, feeling it real. This practice goes far beyond mere visualization. When Neville taught that feeling is the secret, he meant something much deeper than emotional feeling. He was referring to the feeling of naturalness, the feeling of already being, doing, or having what you desire. Let me share a practical example Neville often used. If you're manifesting a new home, don't just create mental pictures. Instead, experience the complete sensory reality of living in that home. Feel the weight of your keys. Experience the sensation of walking through your front door. Notice the temperature of the rooms, the texture of the walls under your fingertips. Hear your footsteps on the floor. Smell the distinct scent of your new home. The key is to engage your senses so completely that it feels as natural as remembering a place you've actually been. When your imaginal act feels as real as a memory, Neville taught that manifestation becomes inevitable. In your practice, allow yourself to feel multiple aspects of your desire. Let the details emerge spontaneously. Pay attention to how your body feels in this desired state. Most importantly, notice the subtle shift in your self-concept as you inhabit this new reality in your imagination. The third and perhaps most powerful technique is what we call I remember when. This technique works with what Neville called the law of reversibility, treating future desires as past memories. From your drowsy state, begin to speak about your current situation as if it were a distant memory. I remember when I used to worry about bills, you might say. Or, I remember when I wasn't sure about my career path. Then naturally bridge to your desired state. But now all my bills are paid easily. Or, now I'm thriving in my perfect career. The real power comes when you combine all three techniques together. Enter the state akin to sleep, feel the reality of your desire, and speak from the future, remembering your current situation as past. This creates what Neville called the complete creative act. Throughout your day, strive to maintain the feeling of your wish fulfilled. These early morning practices are meant to impress your subconscious mind so deeply that you naturally carry this feeling with you. When doubts arise during your practice, don't fight them. Simply return gently to the feeling of your wish fulfilled. As Neville taught, what you resist persists. What you accept transforms. You'll know your practice is working when you begin to feel a natural sense of relief, when you find yourself spontaneously thinking positive thoughts about your desire, and when you notice coincidences and bridge of incidents appearing in your daily life. These are all signs that your imaginal acts are moving into physical reality. To maintain and maximize these practices, stay in that drowsy state. Don't turn on lights or check your phone. Keep mental notes of your feelings and experiences. Trust in the law of assumption. Let go of all doubt and worry. As you engage in these practices, maintain a sense of faith and gratitude. Neville taught that gratitude is the evidence of having received your desire in consciousness. The key to making these techniques work is consistency. When you wake during these hours, see it as a divine appointment with your imagination, your God self. Don't waste these precious moments tossing and turning or worrying about sleep. Remember Neville's words, your consciousness is the only reality. During these early morning hours, your consciousness is most malleable and most powerful. Use this time wisely, and you'll see profound changes in your life. Let us end with a short contemplation. Divine imagination within me, I thank you for these sacred hours of creation. I thank you for the understanding that my consciousness creates my reality. I am grateful for the power to revise and create through my imagination. When you next awaken between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m., remember, you're not losing sleep. You're gaining the opportunity to consciously create your reality. Use these techniques faithfully and watch as your imaginal acts bridge into physical reality. Leave a comment below sharing your experiences with these techniques. Like and subscribe for more teachings on the law of assumption and conscious creation. Until next time, remember, assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled.